It's been more than a month since the debacle with Pacquiao and Bradley, and one of the things that you see from the boxing is the fact that we still are facing the same type of scoring issues. Last weekend we saw Bob Papa, Max Kellerman, and Roy Jones Jr. doing the color commentary for HBO for the Pavlik undercard. Now the Pavlik undercard with Will Rosinski, they did a commendable job. In fact, each of them have a really nice rapport with each other, especially considering that fight was just not a competitive bout. Kelly Pavlik looked listless, and Will Rosinski was a game fighter but overmatched. And I really liked the way that they were able to kind of breathe life or inject life into an otherwise boring bout. But then you get to Nonito Donaire and Jeffrey Mathebula. First, they spend so much time on trying to explain to us that Mathebula was overlooked, and all South African fighters, they just don't understand why they don't get more notoriety. And I think one of the things, they spend a little too much time on that. The second thing is the scoring. Okay? In the Pacquiao-Bradley bout, it was the judges, the way they saw the fight, the way they perceived the fight, and then everyone else. Okay? And how they saw it. And it was clear. Pacquiao won that bout. But then we get to Donaire and Mathebula, and we see just the opposite happening. Okay? The guys who are broadcasting the bout, you have Kellerman and Papa, had Jeffrey Mathebula somehow in the bout going into that 11th round. And the fact is he wasn't. He wasn't even close to winning that bout. He never, ever had Donaire in danger. Donaire didn't fight his best fight, and we all know that. But the fact is that once again, there is that discrepancy between what the boxing public, what the judges see, as well as what the broadcasters see. And that's one of the things that we saw with Donaire and Mathebula. I don't think that fight, as they said, was hanging in the balance going into that 11th round. And when the fight was over, you had a unanimous decision on all three scorecards, all three scorecards were not even close. Donaire really didn't look great, but he easily won that bout. So we see a completely different scenario than what we saw with Bradley and Pacquiao. Speaking of scenarios, we have a huge issue on September 15th. We have two dueling boxing cards in Las Vegas between, the first one is Top Rank, has Sergio Martinez fighting against Chavez Jr., and they are fighting in the Thomas and Mack Center down the street. At the same time, we have Canelo Alvarez, who has now, it has been confirmed, is fighting Josecito Lopez, and you have Golden Boy. Why can't we get this right? Why are they so stubborn? Why can't we just have either give up the date and fight on another time? Now the only thing we're doing here is diluting the fan base. So it's another thing that I just don't understand with boxing. They had to find a way to figure that out before this is occurring. And let's be honest, Canelo Alvarez is not going to have that much trouble with Josecito Lopez, and the Martinez-Chavez fight is bound to be one heck of a bout. I mean, with the boxer, the slick boxer and the puncher, it's going to be a great bout. And that takes me to Victor Ortiz and Josecito Lopez. Lopez, right now, I thought that was the boxer of the month. He really fought a great fight versus Victor Ortiz. Ortiz fought well, okay? He got his jaw broken in 2 spots. Don't tell me he's a quitter. If you say he's a dirty fighter, Ortiz, maybe. I think he's a foolish fighter. I think he needs to reinvent himself over the course of time. No longer can he be this brawler. He has to become more of a boxer. He can't get hit as much, but he certainly has the time to make those changes a la Arturo Gatti or Marco Antonio Barrera, what they did later in their careers. I'm Christian Giudice. Please check out my new website, christiangiudice.com or belovedwarrior.net. I can't wait to see you next week. See ya.